Welcome back to Revenge Red. The story you're about to hear takes place in Riverton, Ohio. My name is Sarah Hayes. I'm 25, and in my family, I'm considered the embarrassing one because I work night shifts at a frozen food factory on the edge of a small town in Ohio. I'm writing this like a note to my future self, so I never forget the moment my mom decided my life wasn't something she could be proud of. Have you ever given up what you wanted for your family, only to become the person they're most ashamed of? While my brothers and sisters chased degrees and polished careers, I stayed behind in Riverton, clocking in at the plant so we could keep paying the mortgage after my dad passed away. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work. I came home smelling like freezer burn and spices. My shoulders sore from lifting boxes, but the bills were always paid. To my mom, though, my steel-toe boots and hairnet meant only one thing: failure. I still remember her voice from a family barbecue a few years ago when relatives asked what I was doing with my life. She actually laughed, and said, "Sarah's taking some time to figure herself out. She's just helping out at a local place for now." She couldn't even say the word factory. When I tried explaining that I was working overtime to keep us financially stable, she pulled me aside and whispered, "Why can't you be more like your siblings? This job is embarrassing." I swallowed everything: the humiliation, the anger, and the way everyone's eyes slid past me like I was background noise. I told myself it was temporary. I believed that if I kept working hard and staying quiet, one day she might look at me differently. What I didn't realize was that Mother's Day was coming, and with it, a text message that would finally break me and change everything. But before I show you exactly what my mom wrote in that Mother's Day message and what I did afterward that made me disappear from their lives, tell me something. What time is it where you are right now, and where are you watching from? I'm always curious to see how far these stories travel. Mother's Day in Riverton usually smells like freshly cut grass and cheap supermarket flowers. At the factory, it smells like garlic powder and cold metal. I was on break, sitting on an overturned crate behind the loading dock, scrolling through my phone with numb fingers. I kept telling myself I didn't care if I heard from my family that day. That wasn't true. My screen lit up with a notification: Family Hayes group chat. For a brief second, my chest tightened. I imagined my mom writing something like, "Love you all, even you, Sarah." Instead, I opened the chat and saw a long, carefully written message. Mother's Day dinner with my successful kids: only Mark, Dr. Hayes, saving lives; Emma, our creative director, making the world more beautiful; Lily, our future lawyer, I'm so proud of my accomplished children; dinner at 6:30, can't wait to celebrate you. She tagged Mark, Emma, and Lily. My name wasn't anywhere, not in the message, not even in a sympathy heart at the end. Just 3 names, 3 golden children. Then the reaction started appearing. Mark sent a flexed bicep emoji. Emma added sparkles and hearts. Lily replied with a laughing, crying face and, "Can't wait, Mom." I stared at the screen, refreshing it again and again, waiting for someone to notice, waiting for my mom to add another message. Oh, and Sarah too. Waiting for one of my siblings to ask, "What about Sarah?" The typing bubble never appeared. The only reflection I saw was my own in the dark part of the screen, hair tucked under a factory cap, hands rough from freezer burn, eyes stinging. My heartbeat echoed in my ears. This wasn't a mistake. It was a public statement: successful kids only. The words blurred as tears filled my eyes, but I kept rereading the message. Each time it felt like a punch to the ribs. My throat tightened with the same hot humiliation I felt at that barbecue when she avoided saying factory. Except this time, she didn't avoid anything. She erased me completely. A moment later, my phone buzzed again, a separate notification from Mom, a video call. I watched it ring, her smiling contact photo floating at the top of the screen like a mask. I already knew what the call would be, her explaining the message, telling me I was overreacting if I felt hurt. I let it ring until it timed out. Then she texted, "Hope you understand. Tonight is just about celebrating achievements. You know you're always part of the family. Always part of the family. Just not proud enough to be acknowledged. Have you ever watched your own mother write a sentence that proves you're only a footnote in her life story?" I didn't reply. Not to the text. Not to the call. Instead, I stared at the thread until my break ended. Then I slipped my phone back into my pocket like I was burying something. I returned to the production line, but my hands worked automatically. Inside my mind, something cracked, and something colder took its place. They had made my position very clear. So I decided it was time for me to make a decision of my own. The day after Mother's Day, my alarm rang at 4:30 a.m., just like always. But for the first time, I didn't wake up thinking about how to make my mom proud. I woke up asking myself why I'd given her that power for so long. That evening, after my shift, I sat at the small kitchen table in my studio apartment with a notebook and a pen. At the top of the page, I drew 2 columns. On the left, I wrote, "Stay connected." On the right, "Cut ties." It felt dramatic, but I needed to see it clearly. Under "Stay connected," I wrote, "Holidays with family. Maybe one day she'll accept me, not being the bad daughter." Under "Cut ties," I wrote, "No more humiliation. No more waiting for invitations that never come. Space to build a life on my terms. Peace." The right column filled up much faster than the left. Still, my pen hovered over the page. Who cuts off their own mother over a text message? The voice in my head sounded a lot like hers. Right on cue, my phone buzzed again. Messages were flooding the family chat. Photos from the Mother's Day dinner. My mom smiling between Mark in his white doctor's coat and Emma in a sharp blazer. Lily wore a floral dress and held a bouquet of flowers. Captions read, "Mom deserves the best. Proud of this family." Under one photo, my mom had commented, "My 3 shining stars." Once again, there was no mention of the 4th. Then a separate message arrived from Mark. "Hey, heard you were busy yesterday." Mom was a little hurt. "You know she didn't mean it that way. Don't make everything so dramatic." Emma sent another message soon after. "Next year, just show up more with your career stuff and she'll include you. You know how she is." No one said the message was wrong. Apparently, the problem was me. I looked at their text, then back at my pros and cons list, and something inside me hardened. They weren't asking if I was okay. They were asking me to swallow it again so the family image would stay perfect. I opened the group chat, scrolled up to the message, "Mother's Day dinner, successful kids only," and took a screenshot. I saved it in a locked album, not to obsess over it, just as a reminder. A record of the moment my role in the family became official, optional. Then, with shaking fingers, I muted the group chat for 1 year. After that, I opened my mom's conversation, held my thumb on her name, and pressed block. The system asked, "Are you sure?" For once I was. I blocked Mark and Emma as well. I hesitated on Lily, my youngest sister, who had grown up watching this dynamic as if it were normal. In the end, I left her unblocked, for now. That night, my friend and coworker, Mia Brooks, came over with takeout. She noticed my red eyes, the open notebook, and my locked phone screen. "What happened?" she asked as she sat across from me. I slid the notebook toward her. She read both columns carefully, then looked up and said, "You already know the answer, Sarah. You wrote it." My voice was barely above a whisper. "Would you cut off your own family if they never saw your worth? If they literally erased you like a typo?" She didn't hesitate. When my manager, Rachel Turner, mentioned that the company would reimburse part of the tuition for technical courses, I didn't ignore it the way I usually did. Instead, I enrolled in night classes at Riverton Technical College, industrial safety, process improvement, and basic engineering concepts. If I was going to be a factory worker, then I wanted to be the kind who understood every part of the production line. Mia joined me for one of the classes, and we quickly became those people who sat in the front row, asking questions and exchanging notes. After class, we'd grab coffee from the vending machine and laugh about how exhausted we were to be this ambitious. But inside, something new was growing. A quiet sense of pride that had nothing to do with a frame degree and everything to do with choosing my own path. One Tuesday evening, I was hurrying into the building with a stack of worksheets in my arms when I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Sarah." It sounded small and uncertain. I froze, then turned around and saw Lily standing near the bulletin board, holding a backpack. Her hair was tied into a messy bun, and she wore a college hoodie. For a moment, the feeling was strange, like being punched and hugged at the same time. "Lily?" I said. She nodded, her eyes wide. "I didn't know you were taking classes here." I swallowed. "I didn't know you were either." Silence stretched between us before she suddenly said, "Mom doesn't know I signed up for this program. She thinks I'm only focused on law school, but I wanted to explore other options. There it was, the first crack in the perfect image. We sat down on a bench in the hallway, our knees almost touching. "I saw the Mother's Day message," she said quietly. I wanted to say something, but Mark told me not to create more problems. "I'm sorry, Sarah." Her apology hit harder than my mom's text ever did. "It wasn't your responsibility to fix it," I replied, even though part of me wished she had tried. Lily twisted the strap of her bag. "Mom's been acting strange since then. She pretends everything is normal, but she keeps bringing you up. Not in a good way. It's more like she's upset that you're not following the path she planned for you. And now that you're gone, she keeps asking why you're overreacting. She's embarrassed," Lily added quietly, "but she'd never admit it." "So she's embarrassed that I'm embarrassed," I said with a short laugh. "That sounds about right." Lily gave a small, sad smile. "She cares in her own complicated way. She just can't handle the fact that you chose something she doesn't respect. And now people at church keep asking why you're never around. She hates not having an answer that makes her look good." There it was, the first real consequence. My quiet absence was starting to interfere with the story she had carefully built. Lily took a breath. "I miss you, but I also kind of understand why you did what you did." My chest tightened. "You know you don't have to repeat her cycle, right?" I told her. "You can choose what you want, even if it's not impressive enough for the group chat." She nodded slowly. "Are you ever coming back to family events?" she asked. The question hung heavily between us. "When success finally started finding me," I said carefully. "The first thing I felt wasn't excitement to show Mom. It was relief that I didn't owe her anything anymore. So, I don't know, Lil. Right now I need distance more than I need a seat at that table." We both fell quiet. A professor walked down the hallway, fumbling with his keys. The air smelled like dry erase markers and old carpet. Before we went our separate ways, Lily squeezed my hand. "For what it's worth," she said, "I think what you're doing is brave. I just wish Mom could see it." As I walked into class, my thoughts kept turning. My mom's choice had created a chain reaction she couldn't control. Her successful kids-only dinner had cost her more than just one child's presence. It was slowly beginning to weaken the loyalty of the others. And I wondered, when you finally start succeeding on your own terms, do you return to the people who once called your path worthless, or do you keep moving forward without looking back? My promotion came on an ordinary Thursday. Rachel called me into her office, shut the door, and said, "Sarah, you've been outperforming half the people here. I want you to become a line supervisor on the new frozen meals project. Higher pay, more responsibility. Are you interested?" I was stunned. A year earlier, my first thought would have been, Mom will finally have something to brag about. This time, my first thought was different. I did this. I accepted the promotion. The new position was demanding. Organizing shifts, handling equipment problems, resolving conflicts within the team. But it gave me something I'd never truly had before. Authority. People came to me for answers. They trusted my judgment. And it wasn't because of a prestigious degree. It was because I had worked alongside them on the floor. Still, late at night, old doubts sometimes crept back in. Without thinking, I would unlock my phone and hover over my mom's contact, even though she was blocked. Or I'd scroll past posts showing my siblings' achievements shared by mutual acquaintances. My stomach twisted every time I saw another "so proud of my kids" post with 3 smiling faces and an invisible 4th. One weekend, after spending too much time scrolling through social media and criticizing myself for still caring, I opened the Notes app on my phone and started typing. At first, it was just a frustrated rant about blue-collar work and how people like my mom treated it as if it meant failure. But the more I wrote, the more the idea expanded. By the time I finished, I had written a long, honest piece about dignity, social class, and how families sometimes weaponize the idea of success. On impulse, I copied the text into an anonymous blog on a platform Mia had recommended. Before I could reconsider, I pressed publish. I titled it, "Successful Kids Only, When Your Family Invites Everyone Except You." I didn't include my name. I didn't mention specific cities. But I did describe the group chat and the exact line, "Mother's Day dinner, successful kids only." I explained what it feels like to watch your name disappear from your own mother's sentence. In the middle of the post, I question. Does your self-worth depend on the people who refuse to recognize it, or can you learn to build it on your own? I assumed maybe 3 people would read it. Instead, within a week, the article had thousands of views. Comments appeared from strangers. I thought I was the only one. My parents treated me like this when I became a mechanic. Cutting contact saved my life. The support from people who didn't even know me healed something that my mom's silence never could. Mia eventually found the blog and sent me a message. "This is you, isn't it? I'm proud of you for telling the truth." Then something unexpected happened. One of my mom's church friends, someone I still had on social media, shared the article with the caption, "This broke my heart. Parents, please don't do this to your children." The next day, another mutual contact shared it too. The story was spreading through the same community my mom lived in, and she had no idea she was the person in the story. Or maybe she did, because a few days later, an unknown number called my phone. I let it go to voicemail. Later, I listened to the message. It was my mom's voice, tight and strained. "Sarah, it's Mom. I keep hearing about this story circulating online. People are sending it to me and saying it sounds familiar. I hope you're not involved in anything that makes our family look bad. We need to talk. Call me back. Not are you okay? Not I'm sorry. Just concern about how the story made the family look. Okay? Not did I hurt you? Just concern about how she appeared." I didn't call her back. I did save the voicemail though, another receipt. As the blog continued circulating, Rachel pulled me aside at work one day. "Hey, quick question," she said. "I read a post about someone whose mom excluded them from a Mother's Day dinner. The writer sounded a lot like you." I felt my cheeks warm. "Maybe," I answered carefully. She smiled. "If it was you, you should know it was powerful. And anyone who can lead on the production line and write like that, you're going places, Hayes. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise." That night, I printed my blog post and the pro and con list from months earlier. I placed them in a folder labeled "Proof I'm Not Crazy." Whenever doubts crept in, I opened it and reminded myself that I had the right to define my own value. My mom could lose sleep worrying about public perception if she wanted. I was finished losing sleep over her approval. The invitation to a community event came through Mia. "They're hosting a storytelling night downtown," she said during our lunch break, waving a flyer in front of me. "The theme is when family crosses the line. You have to participate." "Absolutely not," I replied between bites of my sandwich. Writing anonymously is one thing. Standing on stage and telling everyone my mom's worst moment is something else. Mia grinned. "Or your strongest moment. Think about all the people who commented on your blog. What if they were in that room? You might be the reason someone finally walks away from a toxic situation." The idea stayed in my mind and refused to leave. A week later, my name appeared on the event lineup. The night of the storytelling event, my hands shook so much I almost dropped the microphone. The room was full of strangers, some in hoodies, some dressed for work, others with tear-streaked makeup as if they had already heard stories that touched too close to home. I cleared my throat and began with the line I knew would resonate. "My mom once called me embarrassing because I chose factory work." A murmur spread through the room. I told them about the barbecue, the vague explanations, and the Mother's Day text. I repeated the exact phrase and watched faces react when they heard "successful kids only." I spoke about the pro and con list, the blocked phone numbers, the blog post, and the voicemail where my mom worried more about her reputation than my feelings. Halfway through, I paused and asked the question that once hurt me the most. Have you ever looked at your own family and realized you are only loved on their terms? That their support disappears the moment you stop making them look good? Dozens of people nodded. A few wiped their eyes. For the first time, it felt like breathing after holding my breath for years. I ended with a simple statement. I used to believe family was a debt I owed. That if they gave me life, I had to give them my silence. But I've learned something different. You can respect where you come from and still walk away from the parts that are hurting you. When I stepped off the stage, people thanked me, hugged me, and shared parts of their own experiences. One woman leaned close and whispered, "I screenshotted the message my mom sent when she uninvited me from Christmas. Hearing you say this out loud makes me think I can finally stop feeling guilty." On the bus ride home, I checked my phone and felt my heart skip. My blog post had been shared by a much larger page, someone with hundreds of thousands of followers, with the caption, "The successful kids only mom is why so many of us end up in therapy." The comment section was intense, but most people supported kids like me. Halfway through the thread, I noticed a familiar name, Lily Hayes. She had written, "Sometimes the successful kids are simply the ones who learned how to perform. The rest of us are just trying to survive." I stared at her comment, feeling both proud and protective. Later that week, Lily texted me directly. "I saw your talk in someone's story. That was you, right?" I confirmed it. After a pause, she replied, "Mom saw it too. She's not handling it well. People at church are talking. She says you're exposing family business." Then Lily added, "But honestly, maybe someone needed to." Knowing that my story had cracked my mom's carefully managed image should have felt like revenge. Instead, it felt like balance. Actions had simply met consequences. That night, as I lay in bed, exhaustion settled over me. Beneath it was something softer. I realized I had built a small, imperfect, but genuine community. People from work, from class, and from that event who truly saw me. No titles, no degrees attached, just me. Maybe family doesn't always have to mean shared DNA. Maybe it can mean shared survival. Where have you found your chosen family? The people who made you feel more at home than your own house ever did. A few years passed in a way that didn't feel dramatic from the inside. There was no single explosion or major argument, just a long series of days where I woke up, went to work, did my job well, and returned to an apartment that slowly filled with signs of a life I had chosen instead of one assigned to me. I advanced again at the factory, this time into a role that required traveling between plants, helping other supervisors improve their lines and train their teams. I had a worn company laptop, a suitcase that stayed half-packed, and a schedule that no longer revolved around family holidays. My phone contact list became smaller, but my world grew much larger. I also kept writing. The blog that began as a late-night outlet slowly turned into a place where people regularly checked in. I wrote about boundaries, about the strange guilt that comes from saying no to your own parents, and about pride in blue-collar work. Sometimes I wrote about small moments from work that my mom would have dismissed, but meant everything to me. Like the day a new employee told me, "You're the first boss I've had who didn't talk down to me." That comment meant more than any forced congratulations from my old life ever could. Every so often, I still heard updates about my family through other people. A coworker who attended my mom's church once mentioned hearing my last name during a prayer request. Online, I occasionally saw my siblings tagged in photos where I wasn't present. Lily and I stayed in touch now and then. Our conversations were usually light unless one of us had a difficult day and needed the other to say, "No, you're not imagining it. This really happened." Through her, I learned that my mom never let the story go. The blog post, the talk, and the phrase, "successful kids only," had gotten under her skin. She disliked knowing there was an entire part of the internet where she was a character instead of the author. For a while, she even changed churches, though eventually, she returned. She complained that people were judging her and that they didn't understand how difficult it was to raise children today. As far as I knew, she never said, "I hurt my daughter and I want to fix it." Then life added more pressure. My mom began having health issues, the kind people quietly discuss in grocery store aisles. High blood pressure, stress, missed work, and growing bills. The house I grew up in needed repairs. At first, I heard about it in small pieces from Lily, almost apologetically, as if she didn't want me to feel like she was delivering messages on someone else's behalf. Then one night, while I sat on my couch with my suitcase half-packed for another work trip, she called with a tone that meant something serious had happened. "Mom wants your number," Lily said. "She says she needs to talk to you." From the way Lily said it, I knew this wasn't about emotions. I asked why anyway. Lily sighed. "She's behind on payments. The roof is leaking. The hospital bills are piling up. She heard you're doing well now, traveling for work, maybe even speaking at events. She keeps saying that if Sarah really cared about family, she would step up." There it was, clear and direct. Not "I miss you," not "I'm sorry about that message," not "I've been thinking about what I did to you." Just, if she cared, She would fix it. The old version of me. The one who stayed behind and worked extra shifts because I felt responsible for everyone, reacted for a moment. I pictured my mom sitting alone in the living room, the house dim, the walls more worn than I remembered. I imagined her telling friends that her daughter had abandoned her. Guilt is subtle like that. It doesn't disappear easily. Guilt doesn't care how many times you've been hurt. It only remembers that you were trained to respond whenever someone says family. I took a slow breath and asked Lily, "What do you think I should do?" She stayed quiet for a long moment. Finally, she said, "I think you've already done more than most people realize. You kept the lights on after Dad died. You stayed when everyone else moved on. You paid for things you could barely afford. Mom never counted any of that when she wrote that Mother's Day message. I don't think you owe her a rescue now." "She's going to call you cruel," Lily added, "but I don't think it's cruel. I think it's just consequences." Hearing my younger sister use the word consequences about our mother felt like a door quietly closing in my mind, a door that had been stuck halfway open for years. It didn't slam. It simply shut, gently but firmly. I told Lily she could pass along a message to Mom, but not my phone number. "Tell her I hope she takes care of her health," I said. "Tell her I hope she finds the help she needs and the support she deserves as a person. But also tell her I'm not her backup plan. She decided who counted when things were going well. I'm not going to pretend that never happened now that she's struggling." Lily let out a breath as if she had been holding it for a while. "She's going to say you took everything from her," Lily warned. I shook my head, even though she couldn't see it. She still has 3 children who show up for her. She has friends and a church group. I didn't take everything from her. I simply stopped allowing her to take everything from me. A few weeks later, a small package arrived at my apartment. There was no return address, but the handwriting on the label was familiar from years of permission slips and notes left on the refrigerator. Inside was a small jewelry box with my initials on it, something I had received as a child, and a letter. The letter was exactly what you might expect from someone who never learned how to say "I'm sorry" directly. Those words never appeared. Instead, she wrote, "I know I wasn't a perfect mother, but you misunderstood many things I tried to do." She wrote, "I only wanted the best for you." She wrote, "You hurt me deeply by taking our private issues and making them public. People look at me differently now. I can't even sit in church without wondering who is whispering about that story." And near the end, she added, "After everything I did for you, the least you could do is help me during my time of need." That sentence sat on the page like a challenge. There was a time when I would have grabbed a pen, called her immediately, tried to explain my perspective, and offered money I barely had. This time, I did something different. I picked up the same notebook that held my Stay Connected and Cut Ties list, the one with my printed blog post, and the small list of victories I had written over time. On a clean page, I wrote, "Here is what is real." Then I forced myself to list facts, not feelings. I had not posted her name. I had not shared her photo. I told my story in a way that protected her identity more than she had ever protected my dignity. I did not cause her health problems. I did not make people whisper. Her own choices did that. I spent years supporting this family in ways no one outside the house ever saw. That effort mattered, even if she refused to acknowledge it. I read those lines aloud to myself until they felt stronger than the guilt. Then I folded her letter and placed it back in the box. I didn't throw it away, but I also didn't allow it to control my next decision. I didn't call her. I didn't send money. The only thing I sent was a short message through Lily, who agreed to deliver it exactly as written. "I hope you take care of your health and find the support you need. I am not able to step back into that role. I wish you peace." That was it. No long explanations. No reopening old wounds so they could be examined again. Just a clear boundary stated calmly, almost like describing the weather. A few days later, Lily texted me with an update. "She cried," Lily wrote. "Then she called you ungrateful. Then she told her friends you abandoned her. But she also stopped asking for your number." Something in her seemed to understand that I meant what I said this time. I won't pretend it felt amazing. It didn't feel like a victory. It felt heavy, sad, and strangely calm all at once. There's a specific kind of grief that comes with choosing your own peace over a relationship you spent your whole life trying to repair. People like to simplify these endings. They imagine everything becomes perfect and you never think about it again. That isn't how life works. I still have nights when I miss the idea of having a mom more than I miss the person herself. I still remember moments, like that old video of 12-year-old me holding a crooked birthday cake, that make my chest ache. But those feelings don't erase the truth about what happened. They simply remind me that I'm human. Sometime after receiving the letter, I wrote one final blog post, at least the last chapter about this specific story. I described the package, the letter, and the decision not to let those words pull me back into the same role. I wrote about how it's possible to hope someone gets better without volunteering to become their solution. And I ended with the clearest lesson I had learned. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself, and oddly for the other person as well, is step out of a role that is destroying you. Love does not always mean access. Forgiveness does not always mean reunion. Family should not be built on humiliation or fear. It should be built on respect and choice. And you are allowed to create a new definition of family with people who don't expect you to suffer just to prove your loyalty. When I clicked publish, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt finished, like I had finally told the full story. Not only the parts that made me look right or her look wrong, but the parts that showed how complicated it truly was. That night, I stepped onto my small balcony and looked toward the lights of the factory in the distance. The same place where I once read a message that said successful kids only and realized I wasn't invited had become the place where I proved something important to myself. My success never needed her approval. I still wear steel-toe boots. I still clock in for work. Some days I still get grease under my nails, but I no longer hear her voice in my head every time I swipe my badge. Now I hear my own voice, and sometimes the voices of friends, coworkers, and strangers who say, "Thank you for telling the truth." So after hearing this story, imagine you were standing where I am now, with a parent asking you to step back into a role that once crushed you. Would you give them what they want and call it forgiveness? Or would you choose your own freedom and trust that putting yourself first doesn't make you selfish? Our team is dedicated to creating meaningful, emotionally engaging stories for the channel Revengery. All stories presented on this channel are fictional and designed to provide thoughtful lessons and positive educational value for viewers. Each narrative explores real-life emotions, family dynamics, and personal decisions to help audiences reflect on empathy, self-worth, and healthy boundaries. Through fictional storytelling, our goal is to encourage emotional growth, resilience, and a deeper understanding of human relationships. The purpose of these stories is not to promote conflict, but to inspire learning and self-reflection through powerful narratives.